Hello, everybody. Local community psychologist, Psych Chrissy, coming to you live on your Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. I hope the connection's okay. I'm looking at my side screen here and I look a little bit blurry. So if you're coming up there on people's screens, but if you are here watching Psych Chrissy live, give me a wave, everybody. I love to chat with you all on the live comments as well, because, I don't know, I just love hanging out every Tuesday night. It's just something I like doing. So, yeah, if you're here watching me live tonight, give me a wave. I've got good old Fonzie joining me tonight, so it could end up in an all-out dog row in here. So let's just monitor those. But if you see having to interrupt the broadcast to potentially deal with a dog war, that just may be something that needs to happen. I'm sorry, guys. Tonight we're talking about fun things tonight to a certain degree. I don't know whether you guys will think this stuff's fun, but I definitely feel like this stuff is fun because it's interesting a lot of the time. I think that people often seek some sort of I don't know, I'm going to call it happiness, like that. I don't know, contentment is a good word, feeling content, feeling whole, but they often look for it in the wrong places. And a lot of the time look for and feeling whole, they look for it outside of themselves. And let me tell you guys, it's a slippery slope. And I'm going to tell you why, and I'm going to tell you some of the main things that I see, in all of my relationships, whoever it might be that I'm interacting with. I commonly find that they look in these areas, particularly their own happiness and their own state of well-being. And unfortunately, a lot of the time, guys, they're barking up the wrong tree. And I'm going to tell you why. So hopefully the broadcast is doing okay. I don't really know what that means. It could mean, one, that no one's bloody watching me. Or two, it could mean that Facebook is absolutely chucking a tantrum. And as a result, all of my broadcasting's going a little bit funny. We'll just see how it goes. It's odd that I don't have anybody watching me, but stranger things have happened, guys and gals. See if I can see anything happening on this page that looks like I am getting any sort of, oh God, it doesn't look like this is really, a little bit. Anyway, all right. So, it really is glitchy, isn't it? God. Okay, so where people look for happiness, that I find the way of looking for any sort of happiness is that they look for it in purchases. Now, do not get me wrong, guys. We all love a little Target shop. We all love that online purchase late at night. Nothing better to do with our time but sit there and shop on eBay, and it's awesome. We feel good. We feel excited. We're waiting for our little parcel in the mail. And for a split second, experiences of happiness. Hey, Kimmy, welcome to the broadcast tonight. I'm glad I can see someone. I'm a little bit worried that Facebook is playing up on my broadcast tonight. No, here they all come. Awesome. Anyway, talking about seeking happiness outside of ourselves and how it's just a bloody losing game. It's an absolute losing game, and I'm going to tell you why. So making purchases and thinking that our purchases to deliver us whole hearts. It's a slippery slope, guys, because the minute we open our little package or we get our delivery, we think it's amazing. We try our new outfit on, we wear it out. Guess what? The happiness wears off pretty blatantly. It's very short-lived. It's one of those things that gives an instant gratification, but what we know about instant gratification is it very, very quickly wears off. So if you're looking for that happiness in if you're one of the people that find a high point on your Sunday, looking for a sense of satisfaction in some sort of outfit, kudos to you, but I'm here to tell you that that is not a long-term strategy for security. Number two, people tend to look for happiness in paychecks. And we see it all the time. We see our friends, our family members, people that are close to us. How excited do they get when it's payday? And then what happens? You see that excitement and that happiness increase. They get paid. then they spend all their money, and then very, very quickly you see that person start to slide down the other. It's another one of those experiences that, the money's there, it's available. You might be able to spend it in certain ways. You might feel, I suppose, secure, for a week or so, then all the bills get paid, and then you're back to the paychecks. Do not deliver long-term forms of happiness either, guys. Still very, very short-term, short burst, short-lived, and it will not bring you that long-term experience of happiness that you're probably looking for. People commonly seek happiness in the long term, and it's often very, very unreliable, is in relationships. So we all know that person that floats around in terms of a relationship. They put all their eggs in that basket. I'll just be happy when I get this partner who does all of these amazing things, or does this or does that, or buys this or acts this way, or, And unfortunately, the risk is because if you are looking to have all of your needs met or fulfilled in a relationship, I can tell you that you are setting yourself up for some very serious disappointment. Sorry, the bearer of bad news tonight. But we can't seek that level of satisfaction and self-fulfillment in others, because often those individuals are never able to meet our needs in entirety, met in lots of different ways. And unfortunately, a relationship is just not capable of being able to respond to all of those needs that we have. But unfortunately, people very much do look for the opportunity of some of their relationships, whether it might be in a partner, or whether it might be in a friendship, or whether it might be in a whole range of different relationships that we maintain with people. But unfortunately, guys, in your relationships, you're going to be disappointed, because relationships cannot possibly meet all of your needs. Okay. Another one that we see a lot of these days, guys, social media, and it's a nasty one, but we often seek happiness in physical enhancements. Now, we all see the Insta-fit models, all the people on Facebook, like all that are, getting, ridiculous amounts of Botox, fillers, facelifts. And don't get me wrong, guys, I own a skin clinic, so unfortunately I do see that a lot. People coming in and upping on their beauty enhancements and things that they want to do to make themselves feel good. And, to a certain degree, we often encourage, levels of self-care and internal happiness as opposed to external. But a lot of the time, sometimes people can really take it too far, that, they keep pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. If I just look like this, if I'm just skinnier, if I'm just have short faux blonde, if my lashes are just longer, if my lips are bigger, if the list is kind of endless. And that's how you end up seeing these people, whether it be on social media or even just in your friendship groups, that for whatever reason, just can't some sort of physical enhancement, the next fad diet, the next, extreme exercise program, the next, fad skin treatment, whatever it might be, because they're searching for this happy they have to seek within themselves. So they look for that in the physical appearance. So unfortunately, again, that's quite fraught, because they are often never satisfied, and it's the next one is interesting, because it's seeking happiness in the next competition. We all know someone like this, that they're not happy unless they're beating someone. Like, it's really frustrating. They're not happy unless they've won something, or they've been better at someone else at something. And that is a slippery slope, because it's often based on the belief that if they are decreasing the opportunity of others, that they're increasing. And that's not always the case. Just because you beat someone or you're better than someone at something, it doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to bring you rewards or good things or this happiness, I suppose, potential, a little bit like the physical enhancement side of things. It can actually lead to you just wanting to do more of that, wanting to beat more people, never being satisfied. Unrelenting standards often drive this talent. It's more, and what you find is that you just keep going round and round in that cycle, and you never really get a sense of happiness or self-fulfillment at all from that pursuit. So something to be aware of, guys. Another thing that I groups or, particularly in staffing and coaching clients as well in my business life, that people are looking to the next job, to bring them happiness, that they're consistently feeling unfulfilled in business life, and, they're always looking for the next best thing, the next best job where, all the staff are going to be welcoming and perfect and all the dynamics are good and there's going to be no stress and the work hours are going to be perfect. What we know about life, guys, is that unfortunately in life, life just doesn't work like that. Nothing is ever going to be perfect. There's always going to be shortcomings or difficulties in any job or work that you're entering. So stop looking for the perfect workplace, guys. It's probably not going to bring you any level of happiness, because there's potentially always going to be something in that workplace that's not going to be, 100% good fit for you. All right. What else have we got on here? So we've got paychecks, relationships, physical enhancements, the next competition, the next job, the next escape. All right, so what do I mean by this? You're sitting finding happiness in their next escape. Well, humans do not like any sort of physical, emotional, or psychological discomfort whatsoever. So often what they do is they float around in lying situations or people or scenarios that trigger uncomfortable experiences, or whether that be emotional, psychological, or physiological, whatever that might be. So they often try and find happiness in that avoidance, that they often believe that if they just avoid this or stay away from that, or never have that conversation, or never deal with that scenario, or happy. What do we know in psychology land, guys? We know a lot. We know that avoidance actually is short-term gain for long-term pain. Yes, that's what we know as short-term, but in the long term, it absolutely comes back and bites you on the ass. And if it's emotional, the emotions come back. They often pop the lid off. The problem gets bigger. Relationships get more fractured. The problem just keeps growing. So avoidance is not going to bring you any sense of long-term happiness. In fact, it's probably going to create a whole lot of term. And next one, which is my final one that I feel like people often seek, I suppose, externally in trying to find happiness for themselves, is that they look for other people to solve their problems. And that's not necessarily meaning that you don't go and ask for help or seek support or get more resources in your life. This is more so talking about somebody that tends to blame other people or hold them solely responsible, that person is, responsible for a whole range of things that they technically shouldn't be responsible for, like your emotions, your decision-making, your problem-solving responsibilities, or those unrealistic expectations on others, and you hope that you're going to be able to find some sense of happiness in that. And unfortunately, what you find is it comes back to haunt you worse than ever, and the responsibility pretty much just falls back in your lap, and then punches you in the face 10 times harder. So don't look to the people to blame or to wholly and solely, that you actually play a role in negotiating some of those problem situations in your life and getting the resources that you need to be able to manage that. So quick recap, guys. Tonight has been somewhat disturbed. I hope that Facebook gets its act together and does actually present this in a reasonable sort of way. But let's do a quick recap. So what have we got? Do not seek happiness, paychecks, your next relationship, physical enhancements, your next competition, your next job, your next escape, or the next is that true happiness and self-fulfillment comes from within. Okay, you are solely responsible for your own self-development, your own feeling of happiness, and realize that and take control of it and self-regulate it, the more power that you have to be able to experience true happiness. Okay, so there we go, guys. I hope it's been helpful. And as always, if you know there's somebody out there that might benefit from some Psych Chrissy, doses of reality, or some amazing content, please feel free to share, tag, do it whatever. But yeah, the more that you can share with those people that are around you on social media, the more people that I can help. So thank you so much for tonight, guys. I love you all, and I will see you all next week.